Doing talk radio right. From the left, it's Mike Malloy.
25 before the hour. This hour is being sponsored by Jan Crawford. Thank you, Jan. Okay, back to this piece by Crooks and Liars by David Newert. NRA fearmongers are whipping up a nasty case of extremism for after the election. Yeah. So the person talking here is Wayne LaPierre, or as we know him affectionately around the studio here, Wayne the Peter, who is the head of the NRA and either one of the biggest liars in the history of the human race or one of the most paranoid individuals in the history of the human race, one or the other. I mean, this guy is gun sick. I mean, there's gun crazy, there's gun this, gun that, but this guy's gun sick. I just wonder if someday one of his guns will go off and be pointed in the wrong direction. Wouldn't that be ironic? But that's a different story. Anyway, so he's talking about what NRA members should do after Obama is elected, because Obama is conspiring to eliminate the Second Amendment. It's going to be taken away. Wayne goes on, Obama himself is no fool, so when he got elected, they concocted a scheme to stay away from the gun issue, lull gun owners to sleep, and play us for fools in 2012. Well, gun owners are not fools, and we are not fooled. Let me digress from this madman's ravings. If anybody has done more to advance the idea of gun craziness in this country, it's Barack Obama. I mean, he has made it easier and easier for people to own mountains of weapons, right, Wayne? But you don't like black people, do you? Anyway, back to Wayne the Peter's ravings. Sotomayor, Kagan, Fast and Furious, the United Nations, executive orders. Those are the facts we face today. President Obama and his cohorts, yeah, they're going to deny their conspiracy to fool gun owners because we are such asses. We are so easily fooled. Some in the liberal media, they're already probably blogging about it. But we don't care because the lying, conniving Obama crowd can kiss our Constitution. I've got something you can kiss, Wayne. Oh, my God. And then Matt Gertz at Media Matters observes the following. NRA leaders and advocates have been so hard up for evidence that Barack Obama is anti-gun that they have been citing an Obama-implemented rule that requires gun dealers in some states to report multiple sales of assault weapons to the ATF. Of course, that rule would not prevent a single person from getting a firearm. The NRA's hysterical claim that President Obama wants to repeal the Second Amendment is a natural byproduct of the Supreme Court's finding in District of Columbia versus Heller that the amendment protects an individual's right to keep and bear arms. Until then, the NRA could offer the similarly conspiratorial claim that gun bans and confiscation were right around the corner. With those ideas taken off the table, even in theory, by the Heller case, the NRA has moved on to even more ludicrous conspiracies. Look what they're now telling their gape-mouthed followers. This goes on. This is from the NRA. It might seem like a stretch to compare an election to one of the deadliest disasters in modern history. This year's election could prove the most disastrous in the history of this country. Why? Because this election will decide whether Americans remain free. There's no simple, more accurate, or exact way to say it. It's all or nothing. Either we defeat Barack Obama and retain all the benefits of our pro-gun victories over the last 30 years, or we lose this election and lose it all. They'll come for our penis, our guns. They'll come for them. Help! Help! Everything you and I and gun owners across America have fought to achieve over the past 3 decades could be lost as a result of just one presidential election. It's not just firearms freedom that's endangered. All of our freedoms are on the line. Ah! What a bunch of hysterical half-wits. What is wrong with you people? Firearm freedom? What the hell is that? All of our freedoms are on the line. Ah! You bunch of cowards. You bunch of candy-ass NRAers. You are such wimps. You listen to this stuff and you suck it up. I have more guns than Wayne LaPierre does. Do you think I'm afraid Barack Obama's going to come and take mine? Jesus, God. But see, I live in the foothills of the North Georgia mountains, so I need firearms. I'm always sitting out in back shooting rats. You know what I'm saying? Big-ass rats. Live out in the woods. Pew, pew. I hate rats. You know what I'm saying? Pew. Back to David, he says, now, pardon me for saying so, but that's just Looney Tunes ludicrous. And telling people that Obama is going to take away all of their freedoms if he wins re-election will leave a lot of people who actually believe this crap angry and frustrated beyond belief. And if they happen to have an unstable and violent disposition to boot, then they're going to cause problems. This is just classic bad speech. Profoundly irresponsible, cancerous and toxic, inevitably tragic. And it's not just the NRA either. It's pervasive on the right these days. And we know that when the inevitable violent acts happen, you all will run away and claim you have no responsibility for them. Blah! Well, this is good speech. We're calling you out on this. We're begging you to stop. Not because, well, because, rest assured, we will be holding you to account. I'll tell you, I've said before, I used to be a member of the NRA until years ago, decades ago, back when it was a sporting organization and taught firearm safety. And the way I got into it is my scout troop leader took all of us scouts when we were like 14 to, some kind of a firearm safety seminar conducted by I think it was a joint seminar by Sports Afield magazine and the NRA, and this is in northwestern Ohio, and for those of us who went hunting with our dads, which I never did, but a lot of the kids did, they go hunting pheasant and rabbit, and they were teaching firearm safety, whether you were using a shotgun or if you were really trying to be cool. A single shot, maybe a .22 rifle, just so the kids wouldn't kill each other, which still happened. I mean, in our Boy Scout troop, we had a terrible situation where our senior patrol leader, one day, one of his buddies who was just a scout, wasn't a patrol leader or senior patrol leader, but invited him over to the house after school, and they were playing like 14-year-olds, so, mess around, watching television, watching American Bandstand or whatever they were watching. And the one boy, the senior patrol leader, said to the other boy, hey, you want to see my dad's gun? He's got a Navy pistol in here. And the other boy said, yeah. So the senior patrol leader, he got the gun out of the gun case, and he pointed it at the other kid and said bang as he pulled the trigger. And of course, it was loaded. And of course, the other boy was hit in the chest, mortally wounded, died 6 or 7 hours later. And then I remember 3 or 4 days later, the rest of us boys in the scout troop went to his funeral. And there was Harry, his name was Harry, in his scout uniform, all freshly pressed, lying in an open coffin, while we stood honor guard. One Boy Scout at the head, one Boy Scout at the foot of the coffin, for 15-minute intervals. And then two other boys would step up. And the boy who fired, who pulled the trigger, of course, totally innocent, totally just had no idea that when he pulled the trigger and said bang, he was going to take another boy's life. And you know what? That kind of stuff still happens, doesn't it?
You remind me. This is how you remind me.